Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. To all my regular viewers, this whole setup might seem a bit off, but as far as I'm concerned, there are quite a bit of international viewers watching this channel, and I just wanted to try out making some videos in English, try out how the viewership reacts, and yeah, be a little bit more experimental. So this video is going to be English, and as far as I know, some of the next videos as well. But of course I'm going to add German subtitles afterwards. So what do I want to talk about today? A couple of weeks ago I had what I would consider my first proper photo shoot. A photo shoot I completely planned, and it was more than just 2 hours. It was more like 8 hours. We were shooting from 3 p.m. until 10 p.m. and I just wanted to share with you some thoughts and some tips and tricks I learned from mistakes I did on that photo shoot. So let's start with one of the most obvious mistakes I made. I completely overestimated Maya and the model's capabilities and abilities condition-wise. As I said, we started at around 3 p.m, which meant it was very hot outside, and after maybe an hour of shooting, both of us were already exhausted, which meant that my and the model's ability to be creative significantly dropped. And furthermore, I also forgot to bring any water, which was like such an obvious mistake. I can't even begin to tell you how dumb that was. If I had brought some water, it would have definitely meant that we could have been shooting on 100% for a longer period of time. The model obviously also has the harder job than you do, so that only means that she's going to be exhausted earlier than you are, so also take that into account. So that was definitely a lesson learned, and these factors alone would have meant that the shoot would have been going horrible. But luckily I had a friend of mine with me, which is also a tip I want to give you. Try to bring at least one friend who is going to help you with just basic stuff, watching over your backpack if you go to shoot somewhere else, or be able to carry the stuff from the model or the different outfits. So it definitely helps having another person on set able to watch your back. So thanks to Tim at this point, I wouldn't have been able to do it without you, or the photo shoot basically would have been ruined. And he's also the reason you were able to watch this video much more pleasantly, because he also agreed to man the second camera, the little DV camera I brought with me. What I would definitely suggest is that you try at least to incorporate one new thing, either new to you or new to the model. I decided to bring analog 3D camera, which was really fun, and it helped me work creatively, even though the pictures didn't really came out the way I expected them or wanted them to be. It was really nice shooting with it, and we definitely had some creative ideas that also transposed over to the regular photography. What I should have definitely done even more of is pre-production. We started using Pinterest, and it was my first time using Pinterest. We had a shared pin board where I could pin pictures I liked and the model pinned pictures she liked, and we talked about the pictures, and in the end had a rough mood board of which shots we want to get and what feeling we want to convey. But I should have definitely study the mood board more carefully and be able to always remember it, because by the half point of the shoot we were running out of ideas on which poses we wanted to shoot, which meant we were repeating poses, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it just means you don't have that much variety in the photos you take. What worked significantly better were the locations we wanted to hit. The model and I both had ideas on what locations we wanted to hit, and we planned a rough route around Frankfurt where we would just go from location to location, and all the locations worked pretty well. We came up with some pretty good pictures, but we also kept an open mind, because we also discovered 1 or 2 new locations we didn't plan ahead, like this pretty new red building, which just correlated beautifully with the red hoodie the model was wearing. So that was a lucky little coincidence, and I think there were some cool photos we took on that location as well. And lastly, one of my biggest regrets, something you always hear you should be doing, and when you're on shoot you forget to do, is constant communication with the model. You have to imagine yourself standing in front of a camera and not knowing what the photographer is doing and not being sure how you should react. And this is a feeling that can easily be combated by just talking with the model as a photographer. Obviously you have to give some instructions on how to do the poses and what the model should be doing. If you're lucky, as I was, the model is a natural in doing poses, which she was, so that was pretty easy for me. But the feeling stays if the photographer doesn't really talk with the model. The whole mood on set can shift. So even if it's mundane stuff like talking about what camera settings you do or talking about the weather, just try to keep talking with the model so she feels at ease, and that also means that the pictures are going to be better. Luckily, my first big shoot went pretty well. Despite these mistakes I made, the mood was generally pretty good, and there were some really cool pictures that came out of that shoot. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen one or two. But yeah, these are the mistakes and also one or two things that went good I noticed and I wanted to share with you. So if you liked that video, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Also, if you have any other tips from maybe your first shoot, write them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!